So today's topic is the job interview. I want to talk to you about interviewing for a job because I know many of you do, most of us do, all of us have. Some have been successful, some have been unsuccessful. But I want to tell you my story. I worked for a lot of great companies. I mean, top 50, just huge companies. And I got in because I had good interviews. I got in because I had a good background. I got in because I had good experience. But each and every time that I interviewed, it was a struggle. I was concerned. I didn't know how well it would go. And I did that for a long time. But I lost my job about 4 years ago. And that's when this whole Drew's Reminder started to come into effect. That's when I learned a new technique. And that technique has helped me from that day forward. Because before, I read all the books about interviewing and how you have to exude confidence and how you have to know yourself and know your background and be prepared to answer any question honestly and with lots of detail, and the whole STAR format where you tell the situation, the task at hand, you tell the actions that you took and the results that you got, and you close the interview asking questions. I learned all that from those books, but I still struggled. And I would prepare very well for my interviews, but I still struggled. But what changed for me was when I started to be grateful. And I started to look at my background of what I've done at all these companies and how grateful I was just to be there, just to have that opportunity. No matter if I did really well or if I failed, it still was a great learning opportunity for me, and I was grateful. And now I smiled when I look at my background. I said, wow, I was able to do that. I was able to do this. I'm grateful just to be able to say that I did that. So now when I walk into an interview, it's a totally different feeling. I'm prepared. I know my background, but I'm grateful for my background. And I'm happy to tell you about it. I'm happy to tell you about Drew. I'm happy for you to get to know me because I'm grateful for who I am and the experiences that I had and have had and will have. That's what being grateful does for me. That's what that reminder, be grateful. When I practice that every day, it just makes me a better person. I feel better about my life. I feel better about everything that's happened to me now and in the future. And the same can be true for you. So if you're struggling with your interviews and you're struggling with how you come across while you're sitting there with that interviewee or interviewer, then just think, be grateful. The night before, go through your resume, go through your background, and think about how grateful you are that you were able to do those things. And when you sit down with that person, you'll have confidence. You'll feel good. You'll have a great interview. And hey, you might not get the job, but you can walk out there that day knowing you did your best. And you'd be grateful that you were able to even interview for that job. It's a full circle. Just go out there and do it. But that's what I want to talk to you about, interviewing and being grateful. Have a great week. That's Drew's Reminders.